On November 4th, 2025, I unfortunately fell for a scam, which led to a series of events that ended with my YouTube channel being deleted. If you're watching this video, then that means my YouTube channel is live and back again, but a lot of people were messaging me and asking me about where did my content go? Where did I disappear to? Why is your channel deleted? So I wanted to make this video to talk about the entire process of what happened, where I went, how it all went down, and so that you can be more informed about not getting scammed like I did. Oh boy, where do I start? Is a whole situation. I've got some notes up here. I'm going to just be going off the cuff, just trying to talk about everything, trying to remember the sequence of everything that happened, so bear with me. So it all started at the beginning of November where I wanted to start exploring different opportunities when it comes to sponsorships and brand deals. Now, I've been on YouTube for quite a long time now, and I've grown my YouTube channel now to about 42,500 subscribers or something like that. And I really wanted to start broadening my horizons with different monetization options, especially with the sponsorships and brand deals and stuff like that. I have a mentor who is helping me out with this kind of stuff because I have no idea. I've never explored this kind of thing before. I've never had a sponsorship on any of my videos before, aside from like my own self-promo stuff about my, services and theme songs and jingles and whatnot. And since we were starting to explore these new opportunities, I was getting excited and motivated to really make this happen. So when I received a message on Twitter from the name of Andrew Conrad, I was probably a little bit blindsided because of my sort of enthusiasm to want to get into this kind of stuff. Let me read you the Twitter post here. Dear John, my name is Andrew Conrad, part of the Creator Partnerships team at Monster Energy. Your content is exceptional, and we would like to explore a collaboration. Collaboration suggestions, brief video mention, community tab post, any idea you would like to implement. Kindly respond if interested. Sincerely, Andrew Conrad. Now, this post, to me, in the moment, looked very professional, and when I looked into his profile, he actually had a picture of his face, his cover photo had the Monster Energy logo, there was even a link that was tied to the person's LinkedIn, and when I checked out his LinkedIn, it looked pretty legit. He had some recent updates of him being promoted to the creative marketing manager of Monster Energy, as well as some other posts, and so when I did my research, it looked like it was pretty legit. When I look back at it now, I can definitely see some red flags where I wish I could have seen that back then. But, it is what it is. Some of those red flags I noticed is that he has 2 underscore marks within his name rather than just one or none at all. Even within the message itself, it says that my content is exceptional, but I feel like because they don't actually talk about the content that I do, that it's such a generalized message that they could just send to anybody and people can fall for that. On top of the fact that I don't really post my actual content on Twitter, I do post some things here and there. I mostly try to post like some promotions and stuff to try to find new clients to do theme songs and jingles for. But a lot of like my YouTube content doesn't usually end up on Twitter. On the other side of things, if they found me out on YouTube and saw my videos and wanted to reach out to me, I could see a scenario where you would find my Twitter and DM me to get in contact with me through that. You could either send me like an email or like an Instagram DM, but my Twitter doesn't really have a lot of followers. I'm still pretty small on Twitter compared to like maybe Instagram or especially YouTube. But to me, it still felt like it wasn't really out of the question for someone to find my Twitter and contact me through there. So after I did my research, I sent a reply saying, "Hello, Andrew. Thank you for reaching out to me. I would be very interested in exploring a partnership with you involving a package deal of a video mention as well as a community post. If you've seen my recent content, then an idea I have is that I can transform the words Monster Energy into a musical jingle using my letters to notes methodology, all while promoting the brand. What does your budget look like for a creative video mention plus community post? Talk soon, John Rosario." This is where he responded with, "Greetings, your content fits very well into our program. Have you worked with companies before? I can provide you with a presentation about our collaborations with average rates as well as documentation." I replied with, "I am fairly new to working with brands and companies, but I would love to learn more about your presentation and rates." He then replies, "I have prepared a presentation for you where you can find our prices, barter deals, and documentation. There's a link there. That is what I clicked on, and we'll get to that in a second. Please review everything, and if you have any questions, we can discuss them during a phone call. Please also leave me your contact details for a phone call, or I can schedule a meeting using Google Meet." So if you're a seasoned veteran of being able to point out scams, then maybe you're looking at this and being like, wow, this is so obvious. But I just fell for it. It just, to me, it felt a lot more legit. And I am someone who's a lot more cautious with, clicking on links in DMs and, phishing and scams and stuff like that. Especially when it comes to email, it's easier to be able to to look at the different email addresses and seeing what looks legit, what doesn't look legit, etc. And maybe because I was a little bit blindsided of being motivated towards wanting to get into brands and sponsorships that I decided to click the link. And that is what screwed me up. Now, the link that I showed you in that screenshot says monstercollab.com/offer/Elementality Studios. If it was like a string of different random letters and notes or something like that, I would have been much more cautious and probably wouldn't have clicked the link. But because it looked so legit, I clicked on it. And what that ended up doing was pulling up a PDF in my Google Drive folder. So I'm going to show you 3 screenshots that I took of this PDF. The first one here shows the different packs of Monster Energy drinks that I can choose to go with in terms of the collaboration and the paid sponsorships, like original 24-pack, Hydro Sport 12-pack, something like that, right? The second screenshot here was collaboration resources, and this is really what sold me, is that there's an agreement terms and deal, there's usage guidelines, there's even an NDA form that when I looked at the PDF looked very legitimate. It also came with a lot of like MP4 and MP3 files of different shots of Monster Energy drinks and videos and images of their product. It even says what we need from you, channel snapshots, audience breakdown, all this information, past partners if I've worked with them. And on the final screenshot here is advertising rates. And it was showing all these different prices based on the amount of subscribers I had on YouTube. And since I was sitting within around the 42,000 subscriber number, I was looking at the 1,000 to 2,000 deal. So as I was reviewing all of this information, this is when I noticed that my YouTube channel was logged out. I looked at it and I was like, oh, that's weird. Why am I logged out? And I tried to log back in and my password didn't work. And I was like, okay, let me try it again, because maybe sometimes, I misspell my password or I typed it wrong, or maybe my finger hit an accidental button by accident. But no, I tried typing in my password and I couldn't log in. So then I tried to do different methods of logging in. The first thing was like it was asking me for this USB key. I guess there's something that you can have where if you plug it into your computer, it recognizes who you are and it allows you to log in. But I didn't have anything like that. The next prompt, I believe it wanted to send a code to my phone number, but when I looked at what phone numbers were listed there were 2, and neither of them were my number. So just by opening this PDF, the hacker was able to bypass my 2-factor authentication and change my password and change the phone numbers, completely locking me out. I think one of the Google prompts was that, if I wanted to add a backup code or put in a backup code that you would have downloaded previously, I can do that and I would have been able to log in. But I didn't even know that was a thing, so I didn't have that at the time. I do now, though. So I was panicking and I decided to get on a call with my mentor and we were trying to figure it out. And one thing led to another, and I was able to get on a call with an agent through Google. It was a little difficult trying to find that. I had to look through some forms and I had to look through like Google support. But eventually I was able to get on the phone with someone, and the guy wanted me to go through all the prompts that I had already went through, which was the password stuff, the backup codes, the key, the phone number stuff. And it was like, I did this already. Is there anything else I can do to get into my account? I don't know how else to prove that this is me, except that I'm like on my device and I have all these other social media and email accounts and, YouTube channel that all says Elementality Studios. Now, I will actually bring up that the email that got hacked is technically different from the email that I use for my more business stuff. But the email that was hacked with the YouTube channel, I just couldn't access. So the guy from Google had me fill out another form, and he had me fill out some really long digit number that was supposed to let the team know that I had talked to an agent on the phone already, or something along the lines like that, and that they would get back to me soon. Now, something that I didn't bring up until now is that I had a honeymoon trip planned to New Zealand with my wife. We were going to be gone most of November, and this incident happened a couple days before our flight. So I was asking the Google Assistant, hey, is there any way that I can get this solved within the next day or two? Because I had a lot of shorts and videos planned to be scheduled to go up while I was away. And while the guy was a little hesitant to give me some kind of time frame, he eventually told me it would take about 5 to 7 days. And I was like, well, that sucks. I'm not going to be able to upload this content, and I'm not going to be able to get my channel back. This is horrible. I don't know what to do. There was one slight saving grace, though, and one of my other emails I had set up to be a manager of the YouTube channel. So for a brief period of time, I was actually able to still enter my YouTube studio through the manager account, and I could still upload videos and shorts, and I can still manage the account. And I'm so glad that I had this set up because the hacker started to upload cryptocurrency live streams to my channel. I can't remember the screenshots of the person's face or who it was for or like whatever, but there would be like thousands of bots watching the live stream to, I guess, push out, into the algorithm and get people to, fall for the scams and shit like that. And I'm glad that I did have that manager account because the hacker started to upload cryptocurrency live streams to my channel. But since I had that manager access, I was able to shut them down just as quickly as they went up. My community would let me know when they saw the live stream notification go up, and I would do my best to be there to take them down as quick as possible. This probably happened quite a few times over the next couple days. Like I said, this hack happened on the 4th. We were flying out to our honeymoon on like the 7th or the 8th, and I had basically just a couple days to hopefully try to figure all this out. Now, while that was all happening, I decided to try to see if Andrew Conrad was a real person. Because his LinkedIn looked so legit, I really felt like it was like an actual person who worked for Monster. So I was able to find his actual email address. This guy actually does exist and is working with Monster. So I sent him an email pretty much just saying like, hey, we were talking on Twitter, or at least I thought we were, but my channel got hacked into, and I just wanted to see if this was your actual account. I don't know if there's any kind of Monster collab on the table still or not, but I just wanted to let you know about this incident and this profile. Let me know. And surprisingly, shoutouts to Andrew Conrad. He's probably not going to watch this, but shoutouts to him because he replied to me within 5 minutes. Super quick reply. But basically he said, hey, thanks for bringing this to my attention. This is not my account. I am not associated with this account at all. It is definitely an imposter. And so both of us reported the account, and I had a lot of community members and friends also report the account. And at least thankfully, this account has now been suspended. I ended up posting this entire story on Twitter because I had some friends tell me that if I can tag Team YouTube on Twitter, they can help me recover my channel. I had shared this entire story thus far onto my Twitter, and I even had somebody message me saying, hey, thanks for sharing your story. This guy was also messaging me, and I also almost fell for this scam. So thank you for sharing the story, because I know now to avoid him, and well, the account got suspended, so he or she didn't, get scammed or anything. And even when I showed all these screenshots and told the story to some of my friends, they all had also agreed that they probably would have fell for it too, just because it looked so legitimate. Now, while I couldn't get into the Google account still, but I still had access to the manager account, I was like, okay, well, I might still be able to upload some videos while I'm away on my honeymoon, so let me try doing that. I uploaded a video where I made a theme song for Point Crow, using his name with the letters to notes methodology and turning that into the melody and doing this whole thing. And when I uploaded and scheduled that, it went up just fine. It was scheduled for whatever day. It was probably the following Monday, and it was good. But then later that night, I decided to upload a short, and I can't remember the time frames of when the cryptocurrency live streams were happening. It probably happened every couple hours or so, or maybe like 2 or 3 times a day, something along those lines. But when I went to go upload one of my Pokemon shorts, that is when YouTube falsely flagged me for breaking community guidelines and violating terms and conditions. Oh boy, this is where I felt devastated. I kind of didn't really know how to feel at first. I just felt in shock. I felt very scared because YouTube has become a big part of my livelihood. I am a full-time content creator. I am a full-time music producer, right? The making theme songs for other creators and businesses. This is my full-time gig. And YouTube is a good way for me to showcase my work, make connections, and have people discover my services and my talent and hire me through YouTube, through like the videos and through links and stuff going to my website and to like my pages and stuff, right? But YouTube is basically the big center across all of it. And especially since I wanted to start reaching out towards like sponsorships and brands, my YouTube channel just was my biggest asset to be like, hey, I've got a 42,000 subscriber channel. I want to start, collaborating with people. So losing the channel was terrifying. And I lost my channel probably one day before our flight to New Zealand. So it was all of this happened within like a day or two. And it's so crazy to me how I had spent so long to build up that channel. And just by clicking on one stupid link, that it can just disappear like that. So now I'm waiting for Google support to get back to me. I tried to submit some forms for YouTube, but it was just taking so long, and I was like, okay, I guess I'm just going to have to try to deal with this while I'm away on my vacation, on my honeymoon. I did have some friends try to help me look into the situation. They tried to help me look into different options I can take. Basically, some people said that I can tag Team YouTube on Twitter, and that is what I did. I made a whole post about my story. I tagged Team YouTube on Twitter, and they eventually got to DM me, and we slowly got to talk about the situation again. But they just took a long time to reply. Now, I originally thought that it was just bots that I was talking to, and it's very likely, or I guess it can be likely, that part of the conversations may have been like bot related, or like bot conversations, right? But I actually believe that there are people behind that channel, behind that user, that do help people out. When I look at their profile, they constantly get tagged by people who lost their channels or any other situations that people are in. So it just seems like they get swamped with all sorts of cases. So I actually believe that there are people behind that channel, behind that Twitter account, who do their best to try to help as many people as possible. But because they are constantly working towards helping all these different channels, it is such a slow process to talk to them. But as a slight spoiler, I do want to give them a shout out because they did eventually give me the correct forms to fix all of this. But we'll talk about that more in a second. Now, while I was away in New Zealand, I had a friend who was able to connect me to somebody who I guess frequents YouTube threads, the YouTube forum support. His name is Subversive Asset. And I don't quite know, like, I don't think he works for Google or YouTube, but he somehow has connections with them, or he's able to reinstate cases and stuff like that. But I basically posted my entire story thus far onto this YouTube thread, and he replied to me, basically giving me a lot of cool ideas and a lot of insight on how I can move forward. Oh, I just remembered something. You have to bear with me. I'm trying to kind of recollect all of this at once and in chronological order, but I'm a little bit kind of all over the place. But there's some information I want to bring back, kind of go back to. So Google eventually did send me a form to fill out, but as I was filling out the form, it was asking for my channel ID. And the problem with this is that when I go to my YouTube channel, the channel URL says Elementality Studios. It doesn't have like a 15-letter number combination in the URL. But that's what they were looking for on the form, so I couldn't really get through the form without sharing that channel ID. And so that's where I especially felt more defeated towards like not being able to get this recovered. But this guy that I connected with, Subversive Asset, he was able to find my channel ID through clicking on my YouTube channel link in my Discord. I don't know how or why, but when you click on the link attached to my Discord profile, it showed the channel ID, which was probably the biggest lifesaver of this entire incident. So I really want to give a big shout out to Subversive Asset. Please go check him out on Twitter and YouTube. Give him a follow. Fantastic guy. And so basically he told me that here's the channel ID. You can use this to fill out the form. Some of the other information you can fill out as best you can, but as long as you got that channel ID, that's kind of what you need mostly. and keep reporting that it's a hijack. He also told me to try to not recover my channel while I'm in a different country, because that's going to cause all sorts of problems. They want to double check if it's really me that I'm trying to recover my account. And I was like, you know what? That's fair. That makes sense. If I'm trying to say, hey, this is, I'm from the US and I am trying to recover my channel, but they're seeing that the devices that I'm using are in New Zealand, that's probably going to raise some red flags. So it did give me some peace of mind to enjoy my honeymoon with my wife in New Zealand, and not worry about this YouTube stuff until I came back from the trip. And we had such a fantastic time. It was amazing. Best trip of my life. I do want to make a video about my trip and maybe some kind of musical vlog, but stay tuned for that. So fast forward, we get back to the trip, and I am actually surprised by how quickly the process went. So we got back from our trip on Saturday the 22nd, and it only took a couple days for some of the process to pick up and start going through again. I contacted Team YouTube, and they were able to point that the creative support team sent me a form, and now that I had the channel ID, I was able to submit all of that and get that going. And I happened to be live streaming on Tuesday night, I believe. I was just playing some Hollow Knight Silk Song when I saw that an email came through to recover my Google account. So I literally did this live on stream. I didn't show it live on stream. I was just like on a just chatting screen. But I told my chat, like, hey, give me 1 second. This is a potential huge opportunity right now for me to get my account back. Let me see if I can figure this out. And thankfully, I was able to recover my Google account. Instantly changed all my passwords and turned on two-factor authentication again, make sure everything was like triple protected as much as I possibly could. And then when I woke up the next morning, I saw that my YouTube channel had came back as well. So I am so thankful to have both my Google account and YouTube channel back. I'm just relieved. I'm super relieved to have my channel back, because I think I wouldn't have given up if my channel had permanently been deleted. I probably would have just started over a brand new channel and just probably re-upload a lot of the same content that I had previously to this new channel, build it up again to what it was. But it just would have been so exhausting to sit there and build up everything from scratch again, So really big shout outs to Team YouTube, big shout outs to Subversive Asset for really helping me out with this incident. So lesson learned, don't click on links from Twitter DMs. If you're trying to make sponsorship deals and brand deals and collaborations with other businesses and creators and stuff, do it through email. It's a lot more safer because you're able to track the email addresses and being able to see where they're coming from, if they're legitimate or not. You can look up their email address. But yeah, just be cautious with who you talk to, the links that you click on. Make sure that the account is legit. Double, triple check the accounts to make sure that they are actually who they say they are before you click on any links. You could even still have conversations with them to really figure out if they're, who they say they are. But it just was so convincing to me. They had the profile, they had the banner, they even had the Twitter checkmark. I didn't really mention that in the beginning of the video, but they had the Twitter checkmark, which now I know it's like you can just buy that checkmark. It's not really as big of a deal as it used to be. But seeing that verification badge, the LinkedIn there, and they even was like resharing like monster related posts from like other creators and stuff. Like it just looked so legitimate. And to be honest, I did really feel like a fool for clicking on that link and for falling for that scam. It's honestly really unfortunate that people are out there just, whether this is for sport or they gain some kind of monetary value out of it, but just people that are out there scamming, it's just, I don't understand why that's a thing. I don't understand why people can resort to something like that. And it just makes it harder for smaller creators to put themselves out there. I just feel like it's hard for creators to grow when there are so many different ways that you can get taken advantage of, get scammed, lose your accounts, stuff like that. And it's just unfortunate. I guess I just wish there were better and clearer ways of being able to explore new opportunities without having to be a victim of being scammed or taken advantage of or having your accounts deleted or hacked into. and it just sucks that that's how things are. But I do have my YouTube channel back. I am not going anywhere. I'm going to be super cautious. I have plenty of different types of content that I want to do. I have lots of character jingles. I have other creator theme songs I want to post. I have lots of creativity things I want to do with music. So for those who had been, keeping tabs with me through my Instagram stories, through my Twitter posts, if you've sent me kind messages about getting my channel back, I truly, truly appreciate it. I definitely had teared up and cried a couple times over the last month. One, because I lost all of my, my accounts and my channel and all my videos. But two, crying just because people were sending me such kind messages, telling me that they really liked my content. It's a shame that that happened to me, that they really hoped that I would get my account back. And I don't even know what else to say except thank you. It was just so sweet, the amount of people who actually reached out to just tell me that, like, hey, I really loved your reaction to this or your character jingle video of this. And it was just very heartwarming, and it kept me motivated and positive to hope that I get my channel back. And I did. I got my channel back. I'm so happy. I'm so relieved. So I'm not going anywhere. Look forward to more content, and stay safe out there.